I request all the participants to take your seat. Already the atmosphere has warmed up. I don't know whether you are going to get a heated debate or lively debate. What do you prefer? Lively, probably. Let us go ahead and see what is they are going to dish out for you. And to begin with, I invite the leader for moving the motion, the leader in favor, that is Blue House captain, and the leaders will get 3 minutes for moving their motion. First for the motion and then opposition. Afterwards, each participant of the house will get 2 minutes. Thank you.
The most important element in a free society where the individual rights are held esteemed is the initiation of violence. Reverend Father George, Reverend Father Kennedy Thomas, the manager, Sister Principal John C., honorable judges, respected moderators, and all my dear colleagues. This time I am here to raise my voice in the favor of the motion, that is, right to reject is a necessary implementation in a democracy. None of the above, NOTA, or against all, is a ballot option that is allowed to design the voters to indicate their disapproval towards the candidates in a voting system. Right to reject is a provision that empowers all the voters to have an option to reject the candidates contesting an election. And it relies on the concept that if in a democracy, if the people are having the right to select the candidates, then they should also have right to reject those candidates. In the face of the government's reluctance to move ahead in bringing new and meaningful electoral reforms, the Supreme Court finally intervened to give push to the electoral reforms and restore the public's faith in the system. As you all know, this voting is an essence of democracy. Introducing this NOTA button will definitely increase the voters' turnout and the public's participation. Voters' participation is indeed their participation in democracy itself. It's rightly said that democracy is all about choice. And this choice can be better expressed by giving people a way to verbalize themselves unreservedly and by imposing less restrictions on them to make such a choice. This voting blind is relevant at the times when people may want to show that they don't support any of the candidates or parties in favor and they want their protest or objection to be counted. It's really a pro-democratic form of protest. It's a way designed for the people to show that the current candidates, their parties and their policies don't have the support. And friends, when these political parties will realize that a large number of people are expressing their disapproval towards the candidates being put up by them, then there will be a systemic change and these political parties will be forced to accept the will of the people and they will be compelled to field those candidates which are known for their integrity. And this way, these parties responsible for many of the scandals are going to become more responsible and this will make them to nominate a sound candidates. I know many of my worthy opponents are going to say that this NOTA is an apathy to vote. That is, why would a people go out and stand in such a big line and to cast a vote and that too against all the candidates? Why wouldn't they sit at their home and watch one of their best TV shows? But let me ask the one simple thing, dear, that do you really understand the meaning of democracy? Because if you do, then you wouldn't have made such a silly conjecture. Voting is our right and it is vital in a democracy. It is a process that ensures quality of our laws and services, which helps us in solving our problems sensibly together. If you don't like the current democracy, then the solution is to improve it rather than abandoning it. This will engage the participants to engage with the democracy. And moving on, one last thing I want to say that right now we are having only half the right of expression. And with this NOTA, we will have the complete right of expression, that is of selecting the candidates and of rejecting the candidates. And the one last significance, had it not been there the NOTA, then many of our MCQs would remain unanswered. Thank you.
Now I invite leader of the opposition to present the view against it.
Good morning to one and all present over here. Respected moderator, the judges, teachers, management, and all my dear friends. Myself, Anushka Mandya of 12th A, is in front of you to say something about the newly added and recently exercised feature in our voting system. That is NOTA, scratch vote, against all, or none of the above. Well, I think that NOTA is a complete mockery to democracy and a foolish step taken by the Election Commission of our country. The Election Commission clarification that NOTA, even after securing the maximum number of votes, has no relevance to the election is really very disappointing, and therefore I completely de-hallucinate it. Well, in such a situation, the candidate from the rejected ones with the higher number of votes would be declared elected. Then what is the significance of NOTA? Why is this NOTA? What the change is it going to make? No change. When Supreme Court approved Election Commission's application for NOTA, a thought came that it would bring sweeping changes in our political scene. But the power given to NOTA has been virtually negated by the Supreme Court as well as the Election Commission. The Commission's clarification renders NOTA completely useless. All that we can do, that the voters can do, is just to express their dissatisfaction by rejecting someone. Don't you think it is as good as giving no vote? In today's world, who has the time to go stand in line just to reject someone, that too, after knowing that their vote is no more than an invalid vote, it is going to make no change in the elections? No one has the time. And now, talking about the democracy, do you think that by blindly pressing a button or just following such new additions, we would be able to sustain our democracy? No, we won't be, because NOTA, none of the above, clearly means that we want no one to lead us. We want no leader. And can you please explain what sort of democracy is this, where we have no leader with us? I don't understand it. Also, it is well heard that NOTA would help and support people in Naxalite areas, in areas where people are forced to vote. But let me tell you that this again is not the reality, because in those areas only, now people are forced, suppressed, pressurized more than before. For what? To press the NOTA button. Wow, what help is it providing them, isn't it? At last, I would just like to say that NOTA is introduced neither for the sake of people nor for the sake of country, but just for bluffing common man. Thank you.
Test number 2 for the motion. Participants will get 2 minutes each.
NOTA means right to reject. NOTA means right to ability to say yes to the better quality candidates who are appropriate for the people. Candidates who are worthy should be selected, not those who are just standing in the elections. Respected moderator, reverend judges, and all my dear St. Thomasians, today I am here wishing a fantabulous morning to all of you. Let us move directly to our topic without wasting even a second. NOTA highlights the demand for individuals who can act as better competitors in the elections. People can now convey that they are fed up with the lies of the candidates who are standing in the elections. They want no more corruption, they want no more scams. People just want to get better quality candidates, and they want to pressurize the political parties to bring in the faces which are better options, not just who are rich or who are powerful in the existing political scenario. Before the introduction of NOTA, the people who did not vote were divided into 2 categories. First of them were those people who could not vote because of some personal problems. They could not go to the polling booth and cannot cast their vote. But the percentage of this category was considerably lower than of those people who did not cast their vote because they didn't find any candidate who is appropriate or who is worthy of their vote. To vote is not only our right, but it's also our duty. Is this correct? I think so. But we accuse those people who do not vote that these people are inactive in the democracy. I ask you, that who are we to accuse them? The people, when they can't find an appropriate leader, why should they vote for the leader? One of the advantages of NOTA is that it has provided the people with a better option, and now people can show their anger. The people now can show that they want new leaders, they want a better leader. Let us consider an example. If we are to vote, and we find that in the list of candidates, everyone is accused of one or the other evil of the society. Who will we vote for? Someone is accused of eve-teasing. Someone is there who only want to his caste's betterment. So now I think I have made my point. Thank you.
Test number 10 against the motion.
Good morning to everyone. Today I am here to totally oppose the introduction of NOTA in Indian scenario. Some time back, we experienced Anna Ki Aandhi. He brought the youth together to fight his cause. What was his motive? He wanted a strong Lokpal to fight against corruption. Yes, accepted. Another revolutionary great idea that he advocated was that of NOTA. His point was that sabhi chor hai. In each election, we find that no one is any different from other. And the best we can do is to select the chota chor. My worthy opponents say that NOTA is the power to reject empowering Indian voters. Is it so? What happens when we go out there, get our left index finger blue and just pushes the button of NOTA? The question is that, what happens when I reject all of the above? When I go out there, pushes the button of NOTA, and when my vote is as good as invalid, because even if 90% of the people opt for the NOTA, the remaining 10% voter get to decide your leader. So what exactly happens? 10% of the voter get to decide your leader, because by 90% of the intelligent people just throw away their votes, and they say that this is democracy. The credit goes to, of publicizing this underdog NOTA goes to the media. The omnipresent, the greatest and the world's largest media of the world, that is Indian media. We are misguided, and this is the concept of media to misguide us. What Annaji demanded was that if a specific percentage of the people who opt for NOTA, their vote will be not counted. And again we will have the elections and new representatives will be there. Very good. This seems to be an interesting game. Karo election bar and waste sources, time and money for conducting this election. Moreover, let us consider a scenario. We are studying in class 12. The next assembly election will be held in 2080. 5 years from now, we'll be able to come from there and vote again and again if by-election take place due to this NOTA. What we understand is that prevention is better than cure. So I ask the Supreme Court and the Parliament to bring something that come as a prevention from letting this chose to contest in the election and when we get the right candidate at the first place. The conclusion is that NOTA in its present form is useless, and even if we bring a stronger NOTA, it is better to look for the cure. Thank you.
Test number 3 for the motion.
Rejection is nothing more than a necessary step in the pursuit of success. A very warm and pleasant morning to all. Today, myself Prince Amama is standing here to share my views on NOTA. As different people have different opinions on different issues. And as per my opinion, I, like the majority of other Indians, support the NOTA option provided by our Indian government. India's Supreme Court has struck a blow for voters who look at the list of candidates and think, oh my God, which of these scumbags should I vote for? It has provided them with the option none of the above, which is very helpful for them. And also it has been welcomed by the civil rights groups and majority of other voters too. Also, the political parties are forced to project the clean candidates in front of the voters, and because the many of them are indulged in corruption. And also the things that, friends, without NOTA, it's just like when you have got someone accused of rape and another person accused of corruption, and we are supposed to choose the lesser of these two evils. But why should we do that? Why? So NOTA is just an option. We can just reject all of them. India, one of the India's largest democracy, but it has possibly the largest member in parliament with criminal charges against them. About 1/3 of the MPs in the current parliament are just having criminal charges against them pending. And if we include the state assemblies, number 2, it reaches to 1460. Friends, I repeat, the number is 1460, which is quite a good number. Now, if we move to UP, about 47% of the MLAs sitting there have criminal charges against them. And if we further move to Bihar, the corresponding figure is 58%. Democracy is all about choices, and voters will be empowered by the right to negative voting. This can also be looked as a halfway step for the negative voting, non-compulsory voting to one of the candidates in the list. In the present time, candidates selected by the parties or cancer tickets are being distributed on the scale of popularity and not on the basis of their work and activeness. Popularity should be no scale for the election of politicians. If it would depend on popularity, Donald Trump would take sit in for parliament. Don't you think so? Thank you.
Just number 11, against the motion.
Good morning.